welcome back to the channel. We're in good spirits, I hope anyway. The Astro went at the weekend, that's done and gone. I've just had a viewing on the Panda, and I've got a couple of people inquiring about things, so I'm hoping we'll drum up some sales before the end of the month. But the thing is with the Panda, because it seems to be a running theme at the minute, that not just me, but a lot of other traders are experiencing, and everybody that seems to be viewing cars just seems to be tire kickers and time wasters. And normally that's just part and parcel of what we do. People waste the GP's time, so why not waste our time as well? It's just the part and parcel is where business goes. Every business experiences it all the same. But I've had a few that are just taking the biscuit of it, shall we say. So obviously I've just had a viewing on the Panda. Spoke to them on the phone, told them about the car, mentioned the scratches that are on it, told them that I priced it accordingly. They were fine. They even seen my walk around video, in which I mentioned the scratches. They came down, viewed the car, and decided they didn't want to buy the car because of the scratches. Which I was like, that's yeah. Which kind of baffled me a little bit. I had somebody inquiring on the BMW, the 1 Series that I've got in, which I've had MOT and everything, lovely, had it up for sale. And somebody inquired about when the MOT was due, which was a bit of a red flag anyway, because it states when it's due in my advert. And then, no, I didn't, I wasn't arsy about it or anything. I just sent them when it was due, and they said, oh, I want a car with full year's MOT. At that point, it had only been MOT 2 weeks ago. I was like, I've had people viewing cars, not checking insurance and things like that. That seems to be a big thing lately, is to people coming and viewing cars and just thinking, we're not going to check the basics, insurance, road tax, things like that. I actually had somebody view a couple of cars and do a deal, like talking about a part exchange. And when I queried as to whether they made a decision as to which car they wanted, because they said they were going to either buy one or the other, they said they've decided to keep the car that they've got and just repair that, which was news to me, because as far as I was aware, the car was perfectly fine and they were wanting the part exchange. So that was a double whammy. But we're looking pretty full up at the minute. So what we'll do is I'll stop waffling on and we'll just pop outside and have a look as to see what we've got out there. So, what have we got out here? I'll just say what a lovely day it is. Let's have a look. Now, looking well stocked up for me, I might add. Normally the cars are flying out before they even get a chance to, but because of how it's been lately, being fairly quiet, I've had a chance to get caught up and get some cars done. So we've got the Good Doctors Clio. That is one of the cars that has been getting some interest in it. There could potentially be a viewing either today or tomorrow. She was waiting to confirm as to when she wanted to view it. But it's not the end of the world. It's not prepped. It still wants some little bits, but it still wants to go down for its MOT and things like that. Astra, really shocked that I haven't had more inquiries on this, because it is an absolutely stunning car. Auto Trader said it's at a fair price. It says he wants to be more like 4.5, but I've priced it in a way as to be like, it's got full history, it's got good mileage, it's got great spec, it's got the freshly refurbished alloy wheels. If you're paying that little bit extra, you're getting that bit extra, aren't you, really? The Panda, again, I don't know why these people just came and had a look and gone, I don't want it because of the scratches, when we knew about the scratches. I was just a bit baffled as to why. Getting some inquiries on the BM. Still need to take the tray plates out of it from when I took it down for its recall, which BMW actually gave it a clean bill of health. They only mentioned what was advised in its MOT, slight oil leak from the rear diff. It's not dripping on the floor or anything, and the flexi being a bit weak. Other than that, they were more than happy with it, which that's good news because BMW can, like main dealers can absolutely slate cars, so chronic. So it's good news that I managed to get clean bill of health. And like Clio again, still nothing on it. I need to make a decision on this. It's getting to the point now as to where it's just now becoming dead money. So this could need to make a decision as to what I'm going to do with it. Am I going to? I need to get it out, get it out for a drive because it's been parked up for a bit. Could potentially want some distant pads doing to it. It wants little bits here and there, but I need to make a decision where I just cut my losses. It's not getting inquiries. It's not getting people coming, opening the door in it. There's just something about it that just isn't sitting with people, and I don't know why. So I need to make a decision with that. The Civic that I've got out the back, that is probably going to go to the auctions. This could potentially go along with it, kind of dampen the blow a little bit. You know, from losing on 2 cars, you're better off losing on 2 cars, getting a big chunk of money in your bank account than sending them one at a time and losing money and then getting bits and pieces back in terms of cash. 207 is back. It looks a bit minging out here. I'm not going to lie to you. It wants a wash, but I have lost my outside tap. Something's gone wrong with that. So I'm struggling to kind of get things cleaned up and things like that. But let's have a bit of paintwork done down here. Looks snazzy as out now. Looks too nice. Obviously a bit grimy around the wheel and things like that, but again, this is one that isn't a million miles away from being done. Because of being quiet, we're just getting things knocked off. So that's how my Monday's going anyway. Going great. Hopefully, you know, these other inquiries come through and turn out to get a sale out of them, and they don't turn out to be time wasters, because it's just all the time, and it gets to you a little bit when it is all of the time. But just the way the cookie crumbles, as a wise man once said. I do have me Kia Rio coming back. I'm hoping today. There has been a bit of an issue with getting a part for it. It's kind of dragged that out a little bit, but they should be back with me today, I'm hoping. The Alpha, I've been making movements on the Alpha. That could potentially be going down for its MOT as well. So that's good. And other than that, I don't think I've got anything else. So I need to start thinking of looking at getting some cars to potentially replace the ones that could potentially sell. Try and stay ahead of the game. That's the thing you've got to do. Saves me from getting caught out, but you know, we see people come stop wasting my time. Basically, that's it, because it's happening way too much. So we've got plenty happening on a Monday, and I'll try and be quick before this video ends up being 30 hours long. So I've got it back. What has it set me back? It has set me back a chunk of change, I'm not going to lie, yeah, but it's a nice car and there's still the margin in it, so that's the main thing. So what's happened? Carried out minor service, replaced engine oil and filter, checked top-up lights, levels and pressures, replaced offside track rod end, replaced front distant pads, replaced rear distant pads, replaced rear handbrake shoes, replaced offside front brake pipe, replaced near side front brake pipe, a new tyre to the near side rear. And yeah, I mean, not too bad. The engine oil filters, distant pads, yeah, fitting kits. There was a bit for the handbrake that they needed to order, which is what took so long. 4.5 hours labour to do all that, but that's not too bad. In total, excluding the MOT, £543.43. Now, there's an MOT fee on top of that, so there's another 40 quid, so £583, and I just spent £24 on a new set of wiper blades for us, some nice Bosch ones. So I'd have to do the maths on that, but I think there's going to be a pretty wage out of this if I can get this one sold for the asking price. So in total, the spend on this lovely blue Rio, because I forgot, I've had to order a backlight, there's a little crack in it there, that was cheap enough. £635, which brings up to the total, including the purchase price, of around 1,500 quid. I spent £95 because I had to get it picked up because it had no MOT on it. So it takes us about 1,600 quid, 2,295. That's all right. It took a bit more to get it to where it is than what I would have liked, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. As I always say, a profit is a profit, regardless of how much it is. You're better off making money than losing money, regardless of the sum. So this one will now be getting cleaned up and getting put for sale, and hopefully it won't take long to find it a new home. There's a hive activity here for a Monday as well. Not used to it. I'm starting to sweat. Just had the Clio MOT'd. Passed his test with no advisories. All it actually wanted when it got down there was a bulb. A bulb had popped. Whether that's since it was MOT'd or when it was going down there, I'll be honest, I never checked the bulbs. You know, but passed his test with no advisories. I am buzzing with that. So that is extremely good news for the little Clio. Now it just needs a service, and it wants its valet finishing, and then it's good to go. You can't get better than that, can you? Little 07 car passing his test with no advisories. Happy days. And as well, if we bank around here, you'll see there's a little space. The Alpha's gone down for its MOT. I must be running out of stuff to do. Ooh, risky business. But I'm buzzing with that. I am buzzing with that. That is a nice little bit of work for a good reward for it, I think. And I think the car justifies that bit of kindness towards it as well. It's a really nice car, and hopefully we can find it a home for 1,495. If I can't get 1,495 for it, and people are maybe concerned about the bodywork, or maybe he's looking at getting that done, I want to try and avoid sending stuff to the body shop because it just takes up too much time and really just slows the job down way too much. But now all I need to do is sort of getting these cars valeted, which is going to be awkward when you got no outside tap. Looks like they're going to the local scratch and shine, isn't it? So, one space. That's the 207. That's just in the back getting some work done to it. The main thing is we've got a space here. We appear to be missing the Panda. That's because it is sold. That is fantastic news, and that has just basically just saved my month and made it worthwhile, essentially. Which is good but depressing at the same time if you want to look at it from that point of view. But it just goes to show, hold out for the right deal. That is what you've got to do sometimes. Doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, if somebody comes and you know, it might not be for them. This one was the perfect car for her. This was the lady who came to look at the Clio and the 207. She was unsure as to what to do, as to whether she just wanted to have another cheap car that I'd maybe get a year or two out of, or whether she wanted to. She'd been eyeing up the Panda on my Facebook page, and she was thinking as to whether it would be worthwhile spending the extra to actually get something that will maybe last a bit longer. And she was neighbours with a garage that does my aircon, and he said, yeah, go to him, he's good. So that's another good side to it as well. So we need to replace that. I've actually potentially got another car coming in, one that I sold about 6 months ago that I'm buying back, and then we'll have the 207 back, and the Alpha's been MOT'd, but I'm not going to say anything about the Alpha because I'm doing a video on that, and I want it to be just a bit more dedicated to that video as to what's happening with that. What we've got to do, it looks like I'm going to have to go and do a bit of shopping, I think. I'd like to get at least another one. another one would be nice. So, remember that little Clio that I bought for 100 quid from BCA? Here it is. So, now the Clio is all done and all dolled up and looking as sharp as a button for an old car, I thought I would just do a quick summarise of what's been spent on it. Now, bits for it are actually more expensive than I expected. Coil spring, dairy made. Strut top mount, even the brake discs were expensive. So in total, my spend, if you include the £40 for the MOT, I have spent, from what I can tell, £339.13. So we'll make a note of that number because I will forget it. So 339.13. Now, what would I expect to have spent on it if I was paying somebody to do it? That's a good way to look at it. Is let's do a rundown of what I could have spent. Brake discs and pads, that would have been 140 quid. The coil spring, dear. The spring itself wasn't cheap. The coil spring, that was 30 quid. And then you got the top mount, that was a day do as well. I'd excuse me, trying not to die. I'd expect that it was a bit of a job as well. I'd probably expect to be spending about 150 quid because there was a drop link in there as well. So we're getting up in the price ranges already. I did 2 front brake pipes, a front to rear, and a rear brake pipe, and I also did a brake cylinder as well. As when I found that wheel cylinder, that was nearly 14 quid. So we'll go £40, I would say, for a brake pipe. Job's getting dear already. And then, quite simply, probably about 70 quid for a oil and filter service. It is expensive. It is expensive. Straight off that. And then undersailing the rear axle. Uh, let's have a look. It was 12 quid for, no, it wasn't. It was 17 quid plus the VAT for that. So that's about 20 quid. And then the time to do it, you're going to have been spending a couple of hours doing it. I would have thought. I think that's probably about what I spent cleaning it up and painting it and things like that. So we go that plus my garage charge is 50 quid an hour, so we'll go 100 quid plus the tin. We'll go 125 quid to be on the safe side. Maths isn't doing very well at the minute. It's a good job I did it myself because there wouldn't have been any profit in it. So in total, that would have been £645. And then plus the MOT that I got done. And then there was a valet. I did the valet myself. If I was paying somebody to do the valet, I would have expected to have spent 70 quid, giving it a buff up and things like that. That is, wow. So that total is a whopping £750. £55. Which brings my saving 339, 13 to a whopping £415 and 87 pence. If you want to be pedantic about it. That's a saving. That is a saving and a half, that. And that's basically just going into my pocket. Well, I'm saying it's going into my pocket. It's probably go towards paying the bills. Because there is other good news as well. I took a deposit on the Clio this morning. So all being well, it could be going off to a new home now. So that is fantastic news. Makes it all worthwhile, doesn't it, really? So we might as well, while we're here, it was £227 for the car, plus £30 for me to collect it, plus £339.13 to prepare it. Still not cheap. That is £596.13. Now, I am selling that car for 1495, just shy of 900 quid. £898.87. That's good going on a cheap car. You cannot argue with that on a cheap car. Very rarely make a sum of money like that on a cheap car. You just don't do it at all. I've been doing this long enough to know. Cheap cars are like you'll be lucky. You're lucky to make 400-500 quid. It's just the way they are. So that is great news. Hopefully we can get that out the door, get it to its new home, and then to replacing it. It'd be nice if I can replace it with another cheap car because I like to have them kicking about. They can be a bit of a headache sometimes, but you know, they're just handy to have around because there's always somebody wanting a cheap car. So we'll just keep pushing forward and see what else the week has in store for us. And there we have it. As quick and as easy as that. The story of the good doctor's Clio has now come to an end because it has gone off to its new home this morning. It was a very, very straightforward deal. Almost too good to be true. She paid me a deposit on it. I told her it was ready to collect, and she'd actually paid for the car before she'd even come to collect it. She came here to pick it up. She never even looked at the car. She walked in the office, filled in the paperwork, grabbed the keys, and she was like, I was even telling her about the warranty. She was like, I'm not overly bothered. I just want a car to get me to work. As long as it does that, even if it lasts a couple of months, I'm not bothered. I was like, crikey. Almost too good to be true. But the warranty's there. If anything goes wrong, then I'm always happy to help my customers out. But that was a nice, quick, and easy one. And I like that. That is good. Clios, for me, are my bread and butter. If I could have this forecourt full of that shaped Clio, I probably would. Anyway, I bought a car, a Renault Capture. Should we go and have a look at that? So this is the Capture I've just been buying. Nice little car. For the age of it and the mileage, it's obviously a 63 plate. Capture, 1.5 diesel, 118 on it. Not a bad old car, man. If you wanted to be picky, I've just noticed that there's a tiny scuff there. Had a bit of iffy paint here, which I'm going to try and buff up and see how that comes. Not the end of the world. You could probably just live with that. Probably been a bit over picky. Wheels are in good nick as well. Nothing. The wheels are actually for a diamond cut. They're in really good nick. You've maybe got little tiny bits on them. But overall, nice car. Reversing camera, parking sensors, all the usual doodabs and whatnots. Other than being a bit grimy, it's got original mats in it. It's even got a spare set of these seat covers as well. But everything seems to work apart from the controls for the fan. Just doesn't seem to be working, doesn't seem to be lighting up. The fans are working, but it just doesn't seem to do nothing. So maybe we need to look into getting a new control set up for that. 2 keys, plenty of paperwork that I need to go through. I mean, like, touch mileage, you've been 118, but it'll be a cheap Renault Capture, really. I mean, like, plenty of boot space, just wants a good clean. This one will be going up for $2,995. We're getting all the usual MOT service and that. And we'll just see how this one comes out. Could be a nice little car for somebody with plenty of life left in it. So, my regular viewers will recognise this. This is the little Megane that I sold 6 months ago. I sold it to my brother-in-law. He's decided to upgrade and get a newer shape, one with less miles on, so he asked me if I wanted to buy this back. And I did. And believe it or not, even though it was prepared 6 months ago and was in good nick, it still wants money spending on it. Imagine that. Anyway, not too bad. I think it's burst a brake pipe, which is one of the reasons why he got rid of it. And he maybe wants a couple of other brake pipes that would be advised on, and a couple of bottom arms. So it's a shame, because, you know, buying something like that back after 6 months, you think, don't have to spend any money on that. I always have to spend money on that. And then the Hondas, obviously, I'm a bit hit and miss with the Honda. When things are going well, I think about getting it fixed. When things aren't going well, I think about just getting rid of it. So, yeah, don't ask. And that's the week at an end. What a good week it's been. It's nice to have wrapped up them 2 sales, which really made the month worthwhile. Having a couple of quiet weeks wasn't ideal in the slightest, but in them 2 weeks I managed to get caught up with stuff, getting the Alpha done. I've got that back. I've made a decision on the wheels, but you'll have to wait and see that video when it comes out as to what decision has been made. Could be a controversial one, could be pretty bobby basic. You'll just have to wait and see. And then it's getting its bumper painted, and I'm also making movements on getting the timing belt done. I'm hoping I can get that booked in and get that sorted quick sharp. But other than that, you know, we've got stuff to be cracking on with. The Megane got the capture in and things like that, and then the 207's being dropped down for its MOT. Hopefully that does all right and passes. I'm not bothered about a couple of advisories on it, but again, I've spent good time and effort, so I'm hoping for a clean test at least. Yeah, but yeah, that is it, and that actually brings the month to an end. And with selling the Clio, I've hit my target. Good news, that's 4 months in a row now I've hit my target. Obviously other months I have exceeded that, so that is fantastic, and I appreciate all my customers and all you viewers and subscribers. So as always, all the usual links will be in the description down below. You will find me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm also posting a bit on TikTok as well. I'm trying to get some movements on that. And then you'll also find a link to my website. And if you can do, hit that like and subscribe button, because it supports the channel immensely and just helps us grow. And all I've got left to say is thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.